The strong tropical wave we've been watching for days moving through the Caribbean has finally developed a circulation, and it is now Tropical Storm Isaias. I'm Mike Nasa with the latest on Tropical Storm Isaias, which does pose a threat to Hispaniola, the Bahamas, and the United States. Here's the latest as of 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, hot off the presses from the National Hurricane Center. The center of the storm is at 15.8 north, 67.0 west. It finally closed off a low-level center, and the winds are near 50 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 20. That's a little slower than it has been the last few days, but still very quickly, which is good news because heavy rainfall, obviously, you get more rain the slower a system moves, so the quick motion should keep the rain as low as we possibly can, but still 6 to 10 inches possible in Hispaniola. The tropical storm warnings, I did want to go over them. We do have tropical storm warnings for Puerto Rico, including Vieques and Calabre, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, Saba, St. Eustatius, the Dominican Republic south and north coastlines, the north coast of Haiti, the Turks Caicos Islands, the southeastern Bahamas, the central Bahamas, and now we have a tropical storm watch for the northwestern Bahamas. And if you're in Florida, be on the lookout because those watches will come quicker than you anticipate. Now, the reason for that is we have tropical storm force winds that extend outward up to 345 miles. Most of that is to the northeast, but Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, you guys are getting lashed, and you have been, with some gusty winds. Now, the forecast track, and this may change, has Isaias moving over the Dominican Republic tomorrow and then coming back out near the Turks, Caicos, the central Bahamas Friday, Saturday heading on up in the general direction of southeast Florida with a turn. There's going to be a weakness in that high pressure ridge to the north from a trough that comes through the eastern U.S., and that should allow Isaias to slide off towards the north and then eventually northeast. But where exactly that turn occurs is going to be crucial as to where Isaias makes landfall. So expect this track to possibly change over the coming days. There's the infrared satellite imagery. The center has finally developed right in here in this blob. And again, it's moving west-northwest quickly. It should take that track in that general direction over the next 24 hours or so. However, it is quite possible that we could get a center reforming somewhere up here in the next 12 to 18 hours, which would then change the track from that to something like that. So even though it doesn't seem like a big difference, in the long run, it can make a really big difference as to where this system eventually goes. Nevertheless, you can see it does have good outflow on the western side, and it's looking pretty elongated, but that's spreading the tropical storm force winds pretty far off towards the northeast. Here's a map of the wind shear. You can see very strong wind shear to the north, but the center has developed down here, so it's kind of under an anticyclone, a pretty good environment. However, in about 2 or 3 days, there could be some wind shear, especially from the southwest, that could impact it. So right now, it's not forecast to become a hurricane, but at least a mid to strong tropical storm somewhere here very close to, say, Andros Island of the Bahamas. And again, right now it definitely blew some gusty winds through the northern Antilles there, the Leeward Islands, Lesser Antilles, and now it's headed for the greater Antilles of Hispaniola. So if you're in Punta Cana, for example, it's going to be a rough Thursday, I'll tell you right now. Now, here are the GFS ensembles. These are the 18Z model runs, 18 Zulu, and very good news to report there. They're showing that the system is going to remain offshore the U.S., although there is the potential of a hurricane strike in North Carolina on this run. But again, most of them are tightly clustered here, showing that it's going to cross Hispaniola and then the Turks Caicos Bahamas as a tropical storm, but then by the time it strengthens, it could move offshore, which would be great news. But again, that's not set in stone. And remember, these islands of Grand Bahama Island and Abaco, they're very devastated after that Category 5 hit from Dorian. That was Labor Day weekend, and that was less than a year ago. So they don't need another tropical cyclone of any kind for a while. But those are the GFS ensembles, which show a track offshore. This is the H-Wharf model, and you can see it takes the system over Abaco and then to the north and just misses the Outer Banks and Cape Cod. But again, taking a look at that track, that'd be pretty close to Cape Cod, I'll tell you right now. That would be a hurricane right there. And that's the H-Wharf model. The Canadian model from earlier, I believe this was the 12Z, it shows our system staying weak, but definitely straddling the coastline there from Florida all the way up into North Carolina and making a landfall. So the bottom line is that we're not even to August yet, and we are now on our record-breaking I-named storm, Isaias, and this is forecast to be a very, very active hurricane season, as it already has been. In 2014, when we used this name list, Isaias was on it, and we never made it past Hannah. We're now on Isaias. Our next storm, by the way, would be Josephine. So we're making it down the name list, and who even knows what August and September have in store. The key messages for Tropical Storm Isaias as of 11 p.m. from the National Hurricane Center. Number 1, heavy rains and life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican, Haiti. You know Haiti, they get hit bad with those flooding rains. And the southeast Bahamas, life-threatening heavy rains. Number 2, tropical storm conditions are likely for the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico tonight. That's going to spread westward to the Dominican Republic, Haiti, the southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, central Bahamas, between Thursday and Friday, and the tropical storm warnings are in effect. And as they mentioned, don't focus on the track, because like you can see on this map, those tropical storm force winds are off to the northeast. So even if the center is down here, they're getting impacted there in Puerto Rico. And number 3, while this system could bring some rainfall and winds to Cuba, the northwest Bahamas, and Florida later this week and weekend, it is too soon to determine the location or the magnitude of those impacts. But if you live in those locations, you need to monitor the progress of Isaias. All right, so we've been watching it very carefully ever since it left Africa back when we had Hannah. Remember Hannah, by the way? Check that out over northern Mexico. You see that spin? Right in here, watch. You see that twisting? That's what's left of Hurricane Hannah. Still some thunderstorms, still a rotation, but Hannah's gone and it left its mark. But here comes Isaias, areas of the Dominican Republic, Turks Caicos Islands, the Bahamas, and then potentially Florida and the East Coast. You guys need to be ready in case Isaias makes his way towards you. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll see you next time with the latest on the tropics.